What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, daily news reports, the two upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package that has now passed the Senate, the $1 to $1.2 trillion package, and will now be moving on to the House of Representatives, as well as the next stimulus package, which the Democrats have announced at around $3.5 trillion. Remember, this package will be passed by the Democrats only through the reconciliation process because the Democrats are in control or in the majority of the House and the Senate, and they will be passing this package without a single Republican vote and then signed by the president. Remember, the Democrats are in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, so they don't need a single Republican vote to pass this package, and that is exactly how the third stimulus check package was passed. We're also going to talk about in this video $2,000 stimulus checks that senators from the Democratic side are in support of. New articles coming out about this being reported on by multiple different news outlets, as well as how economic conditions are actually getting worse because of the Delta variant. Over 100,000 people testing positive on average every single day. Yeah, it's getting bad. So we got a lot to cover in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I will keep you up to date with everything going on in our economy, everything going on in the United States, and everything going on with this next stimulus package, which will be the largest yet to date. It has been announced at $3.5 trillion, and the third stimulus check package was only $1.9 trillion. So even if it gets negotiated down a little bit, again, only the Democrats are going to pass it, so they're only negotiating between the Democrats themselves. The third stimulus check package, which had the $1,400 stimulus checks, $1,400 stimulus checks for adults, $1,400 stimulus checks for children, and $1,400 stimulus checks for adults, adult dependents, and college students who didn't even receive stimulus checks the first and second time around. And it had the $3,000 to $3,600 child tax credits, and it had $40 billion plus in rent assistance and mortgage assistance, and it had other stimulus provisions in there like $300 per week unemployment extension, which could actually get extended as well. It had other stimulus provisions in there. It had, all sorts of different things in there. This next package is going to be almost twice the size of that. Yeah. So really, there's enough money in this next package for anything they want to put in this next package. So without further ado, let's jump in. Also, thank you so much for giving these videos a like. I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. Remember, new videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, new data is out for the month ending July, and retail sales actually fell last month. Yeah, so even though we're supposed to be in an economic recovery, we're supposed to be coming out of the pandemic, retail sales actually fell last month. Yeah, far deeper than expected. So even though we're supposed to be getting out of the pandemic, and remember, July was really before the Delta variant was getting bad, retail sales actually got worse last month. Yeah, they fell 1.1%. And also a new report, 61% of small businesses think that the Delta variant has stopped the economic recovery dead in its tracks. 61% of small businesses. Don't forget that this pandemic has actually shut down 37% of all small businesses already. 37% of all small businesses have completely gone bankrupt because of this pandemic already. And that was before this new wave of the Delta variant, which is just, it's going to get worse from here on out. How bad is it, you say? Well, Google is reporting that 252,369 people yesterday tested positive. Yeah. That's a lot of people. 252,000 people. The 7-day moving average is 141,000 people per day. Now, I do want to say that these numbers get adjusted sometimes because sometimes I'll come here the day after and these numbers will be adjusted down. Also, I want to say that the numbers over the weekend are always a lot lower. For some reason and if you've been watching the show for a while, you know that the numbers over the weekend are always they're never reported anywhere near. Just Saturdays and Sundays, the numbers over the weekend are just reported very, very low. But last week, when we look at last week, August 13th, 186,000 people tested positive. August 12th, 138,000. August 11th, 155,000. August 10th, 161,000. Yeah, 252,000 being reported by Google on August 16th. And again, the 7-day average is 141,000 people testing positive every day. Also, I get a lot of people asking me about deaths. Deaths, on average, 1,000 people per day every single day. The 7-day average is 700. So it's not nearly as bad as we were like back in January, February, when we were averaging 4,000 people per day. But we are on an uptrend, as you can see here. Again, that's a lagging indicator because, again, it takes people time to die, as sad as that sounds. But I don't know if the hospitals are getting better at this or what, but on average, 1,000 people per day. Yeah. So you can tell me if you think that's good, bad, or what. But yeah, those are the numbers. Now, in a new article dated last week, but I just happened to catch it now because there's a lot of articles out in there in the world. From the Sun, also being reported by Newsweek. Check it out. For stimulus check, more than 20 senators are pushing for recurring $2,000 monthly checks. Yeah. More than 20 Democratic senators are reportedly pushing for recurring checks worth up to $2,000 to be introduced. More than a dozen Democratic senators are urging President Joe Biden to introduce a fourth round of stimulus checks. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Cory Booker are among the politicians calling for recurring payments, Newsweek reports. They think that the $1,400 check isn't sufficient to help cash-strapped families. In a letter, they said these payments help keep families out of poverty, but they also act as an economic stimulus by increasing spending and supporting jobs. Now is the time for boldness. The lawmakers didn't state how large the payment should be, but Congresswoman Representative Ilhan Omar is among Democrats calling for checks worth up to $2,000 to be introduced. Representative Ilhan Omar is also the Congresswoman who has introduced the bill recently for guaranteed income proposal that would be $1,200 per month and $600 per child, coincidentally also. It is reported that more than 150 economists, including Jason Furman, who was part of the Obama administration, backed calls for direct stimulus payments last year. They argued that checks would boost spending and reducing the length of the recession caused by the pandemic. It's not just lawmakers who are calling for extra cash, and several petitions have been signed by more than 3 million Americans. More than 2.7 million Americans have signed a petition that was created by restaurant owner Stephanie Bonin. This petition for $2,000 per month for every American is now over 2.8 million Americans. The goal is for 3 million Americans. Yeah, you can look this up on change.org after this video. You can just literally go to Google and type in change.org $2,000 per month petition, and you'll find it. Over 2.8 million Americans have signed this petition to date. It says our country is struggling deeply. The recovery hasn't reached many Americans. The true unemployment for low-wage workers is estimated at over 20%. And many people face large debts from last year for things like utilities, rent, and childcare. These are all reasons that checks need to be targeted to people who are struggling, and Congress needs to learn from this past year. No more waiting around for our government to send the help we need. Sign to join our movement to get recurring checks to the people for $2,000 per month. There are several different proposals from the Democrats for a forced stimulus check or for monthly recurring stimulus checks. There aren't any proposals from Republicans, but remember that the Democrats are going to pass the next stimulus package completely on their own without any Republicans. There are some proposals from the Republicans for recurring checks for the child tax credits. But remember, again, the Democrats are going to pass this next package on their own. So, again, I'm not choosing sides. I'm just kind of telling you guys the kind of current status of the House and the Senate. Again, that's just kind of how things are right now. So again, there are 28 lawmakers in the Senate that have been in support of monthly recurring stimulus checks. That's why I say make it known, call your senators, tweet them, email them, call your representatives, and remind them that now in this crucial time that they're deciding what is going to be in this next stimulus package, let them know, hey, we need stimulus checks. We need reoccurring checks, whatever you want them to be in there. Social Security raises, Medicare expansion, whatever you think needs to be in this next package. Now is kind of the crucial time to remind them, hey, don't forget to put these things in there for the people. You can see these headlines. Meet the 28 lawmakers who want stimulus checks reoccurring in Biden's infrastructure package. Over 80 lawmakers now support further direct payments to Americans. This is from the House of Representatives. The bill from the Senate, Senators Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren, who are the co-authors, push President Joe Biden for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks. From the House of Representatives, Detroit Representative Rashida Tlaib and co-authored with Democratic Representative Pramila Jayapal, who's the leader of the Democratic Progressive Caucus, have introduced a bill for a one-time $2,000 stimulus check, followed by $1,000 monthly recurring payments to be included in this next stimulus package. And remember that Bernie Sanders is largely considered the deal maker or the person in charge of this next package, which is they're considering an anti-poverty package, an anti-poverty plan. So they can really put anything they want in this next package, in this next stimulus package that they want. And I don't know. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I mean, they're the ones that have said that they want direct payments to Americans in this next stimulus package. So we'll see what they put in there. Stimulus checks, child tax credit checks, adult tax credit checks. Now's kind of the crucial time of what we're going to be finding out will be in this next stimulus package. We're also finding out some new information about booster shots, vaccine booster shots, about third shots. Yeah, check this out. Multiple different news outlets are reporting this. The Biden administration is reportedly planning to announce that most Americans should receive a booster shot 8 months after they have been fully vaccinated, expanding the pool of people who should get the extra doses beyond those with compromised immune systems. Yeah. The New York Times reported that the U.S. could begin offering a third shot as soon as mid-September next month, citing 2 administration officials familiar with the discussions. The Times reported that the health officials envision administering Americans the same vaccine they were initially given. The Washington Post reported that the boosters wouldn't be administered until the application by Pfizer for additional shots is cleared with the FDA. Biden officials will reportedly announce the new guidance as soon as this week. The Times and the Post reports came days after the FDA authorized a third vaccine dose for certain people with compromised immune systems. Pfizer on Monday announced that it submitted phase 1 data to the FDA in an effort to get a third booster shot authorized in the US. Let me know your thoughts on a third booster shot, and let me know your thoughts on this possibly being a third shot every single year or possibly every single 8 months, which would be similar to a flu shot that if you get flu shots, you get that about once a year. Let me know your thoughts on this. And this is kind of what a lot of people have been thinking that, we've seen new reports that this is going to be going from a pandemic to an endemic, where this virus could be around for a long, long time, especially with new virus cases now over 100,000 per day on average. And with new variants literally propping up all the time, that, yeah, I mean, you might need to get a shot once a year, similar to how the flu shot is. If you get a flu shot, you don't just go get a flu shot one time and then you never get a flu shot ever again. I mean, you could if you choose so. Um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of think I've personally kind of seen this writing on the wall that it's not going to be you get a shot and then you're just vaccinated forever. It's not that type of vaccination. It's more similar to a flu shot, where a flu shot, if you get a flu shot, you go get a flu shot every year. I mean, again, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to, but that's kind of the writing that I seen on the wall. So now they're coming out with booster shot information. They have authorized it for immunocompromised people, and now we're getting this information that um, they're going to be possibly suggesting it for people as early as every 8 months or possibly yearly. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this? If you are vaccinated, which about 70% of Americans are vaccinated with at least one shot, and a little bit over 60% of Americans are fully vaccinated, means they have two shots of Pfizer and Moderna two-shot vaccines, or they have Johnson and Johnson one shot. So, the majority of Americans are vaccinated. So again, over 60% of Americans are fully vaccinated, and over 70% of Americans have at least one shot of if they got a two-shot vaccine. So, but fully vaccinated might become a slightly different term if it becomes a yearly thing, right? So, are you fully vaccinated anymore if it becomes a yearly thing? Is fully vaccinated even going to be a term we use anymore? Can you say you're fully vaccinated if it's a yearly shot? Yeah, it's going to get kind of weird, especially with these vaccine mandates that are coming out now. I mean, New York City, Los Angeles, New Orleans, San Francisco all have some form of vaccine mandates now, where you have to show proof of vaccine ID to enter a restaurant or an indoor venue, as well as the military. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, 60 to 70% of people, 70% of the United States has at least one shot of the vaccine. So, I mean, less than 30% of people have not gotten a vaccine. So, I mean, 70% of people have gotten the vaccine. So, yeah. But even with that being said, there's still over 100,000 plus cases per day. What was that average? 140 some thousand, 7-day moving average of people testing positive. Yeah, I personally think that they're going to be tweaking the vaccine for the Delta variant in the future. I think that we're going to see a Delta variant specific vaccine in the future. I think that Pfizer and Moderna are going to be coming out with a slightly different vaccine in the future for the Delta variant. I think that would only make sense. So how long that'll take, who knows? But I think that would make sense. I think that down the line we'll see a Delta variant, slightly different vaccine, and there's also this Lambda variant. Yeah, the Lambda variant. So honestly, a year from now we could have several more variants. I mean, it's just the kind of virus that is constantly varying. So, and that kind of, might make sense that as we go forward, that just they kind of tweak the vaccine a little bit. I mean, again, that's modern medicine. If they have to tweak the vaccine a little bit, no big deal. They tweak it a little bit if they have to. Again, that would kind of only make logical sense, right? So let me know your thoughts on everything. I'll keep you up to date. Let me know your thoughts on stimulus. I'll keep you up to date on that. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out every day, and I will keep you up to date. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video here is my newest video on Social Security raises that could be coming out in the near future. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.